Hey, folks, welcome back to the Hidden Day. We have some fascinating new information to share with you. But before we bring information to everybody, we always like to vet it out. So I found someone who actually has success in a process that we're going to call the W4 process. She goes by Hollywood because her name's Holly. So, Holly, welcome to the show.
Hi.
Yeah. So I want to introduce you to everybody. I want to you basically give you the floor on what to do. I really don't know much about this W4 process other than I know some people who have had some success and including you, which has some tremendous success. We want to know what it can do for people. Will it tie us back in with the government? Because some of us are actually authenticated and we don't pay taxes as a corporation citizen would. So would that bring us back into the system? And what does this process do for us? And how can it benefit us? So I want to give you the floor. Everybody say hi to Holly.
Hi.
Yeah. So tell us, how did you get started in this process and what led you to it?
God.
Almighty God. That's a good start.
That's it.
Okay. And did he lead you for a particular reason? Were you fighting some unjustness? Were you just looking to get your money back that they stole unjustly? What was your mindset?
I didn't I just got in God brought me into my coach's life and it
Okay.
took off from there.
Okay. So he just opened your eyes and said, "Hey, Holly, I want you to take a look at this." And then because you're
Well, I think there was some vetting involved. I felt like I was more I had to be somebody that could be coachable.
Mhm.
So it had to be I felt like there was like a selection there. It's not for everybody. So I was able to learn. It took time and growing pains, but we made progress and we made it through.
Nice. Yeah. Who doesn't love
Yeah.
growing pains?
Yeah.
And you have successfully used it. Some of the main questions we're going to get is does this tie me back into the Babylon system if I am free from it?
It's not about you. It's never been about you and it's never going to be about you. It's about the US person. It's about that social security account, period.
Okay, what for lack of a better term, we'll call the straw man, right?
Well, it's an account.
Yeah. An account. Okay, that's even better because it
Yeah.
is indeed an account. That's a
Yeah.
really good way to put it. Okay,
Hmm.
so right off the bat, we've people hear different things and they hear about sovereign citizens who have gone to jail by trying to dupe the government and all this other stuff. Does this process put us in any danger of trying to finagle the government, if you would?
No,
Okay.
we're just reporting. We have three duties to the IRS: order, make orders or order forms, keep records, and report. So we've
Okay.
all been ordering forms and keeping records, but now we are like record hoarders. Like, what do we do with all these records? We're not supposed to be hoarding the records anymore, guys. We can ship them off and do our reporting duty and be done.
Okay. So we're just reporting all of this information. Now, I did hear you talk about these forms. Some people think they're government forms, but you have a different opinion on these forms, don't you?
Well, I feel like it's free. So if it's free, it must be mine.
Hmm. Yeah, I've heard that. A lot of people say, hey, these forms are ours and we can actually make up our own. I know there's some people that actually made up their own forms and have used them successfully. And I see that at some point you change a couple things on a form or two as well. And those have been successful, correct?
Oh, sure. Yeah. We're just taking out portions that literally don't apply and replacing it with way more important information.
Oh, okay. Okay. That is fabulous. That makes me, and I'm sure some of you guys out there, much more comfortable as well. So let's start from the beginning. If I'm new to this whole thing and I'm just tired of people taking advantage of me in whatever capacity, the account, the person, the straw man, they're just taking advantage of us and they're using the money for things that I wouldn't necessarily agree with. Where do I start? Tell me about this W-4 process. What does it mean to me and how can we use it to our benefit?
Well, it initially starts with the Social Security number,
Mm-hmm.
which is an account. So then we use that account in commerce to enter into contracts, or if we have an interest in having power, we use the Social Security number. If we have an interest in having a car, anything that we have an interest in is a W-4 reportable event. So that's kind of where it starts.
Okay, so if we're part and party, when you say interest, that's what you mean by that?
If we have interest in
Mhm.
any service out here and that service requires some sort of contract or submission of our information, it could just be the driver's license, like, say, for example, Walmart. Sam's Club. You can get a Sam's Club membership. You're not giving them the Social Security number or the card. However, you do have to produce the driver's license, which we all know links back to the social.
Mhm.
So it's basically everything that we have an interest in is a W-4 reportable event.
Wow, that's quite fascinating. So even if I like applied for a job and they need my social, I would have interest in that and I could report that as a W-4 event. And we'll get into the details of that, but that would be included in this?
Yeah, interest in school, interest in anything.
Wow. So that goes right in along when we authenticate, we talk about registration and everything you have to do to register. You're getting a license to drive, a license to gun, a license for this, a license to hunt and fish, and blah, blah, blah. And we're of the opinion that the government shouldn't be registering anything. And so you're saying when they do, we can actually report that as a W-4 event, if you would.
Right. Hmm.
Wow, that is
Exactly.
really amazing, Holly. So, right out of the gate, what would be the first thing you might do a W-4 process on?
I would start with my credit report.
Okay. And you can actually W-4 the credit report, or that's where you start to look for everything that you may have interest in.
Well, I would W-4 everything on the credit report because it's a safe it's a safety zone. There's no risk there. There's nothing to lose. Plus you're going to be able to see the results and you're going to be able to show the results to your family or friends, and you're going to be able to get more people that you care about on board to do this.
Okay. And we'll get into the details and step by step on subsequent shows. Right now, we're going to get an idea of what we can do. So, when we do a W-4 process, what would be the end result of it? Do we get money back? Do they send us stuff? Do we get credits? Do they just stop bothering us? What's the deal?
We're seeing all of the above.
Really?
Everyone is not the same, but we're seeing all of the above.
Okay. So you personally have had success in all of those things?
Let's see. As far as success, I had returns go to the account, direct wire transfer back from the corporation to the account. And then so that was my box was alphabetically in order from A to Z, and Z was at the top. So W got refunded first, and I just got a check for a S corporation that started with S.
Look
So
at,
they're about at S now.
so it sounds to me like you did a whole bunch if you got them alphabetized. How amazing is
Yeah, they
that?
were alphabetized.
because I do know personally one young lady who actually had a court case terminated, and we can actually talk to her at one point because of this W-4 process. But you're saying you actually got refunds, and I've heard of people getting credits on bills and things too. That would be a possibility.
Yes, credits on bills or the entire past due amount wiped down, or maybe like one lady reported going from a $4,000 bill down to like $80.
Okay, well, that's significant. Okay, so this isn't
Yeah.
just this isn't just pie in the sky. I hope this works kind of thing. This is practical, and it's actually working. So that's phenomenal. I wanted to talk about what should people do to actually get started in this, as far as like maybe a mindset to wrap your head around it. Is there anything you need to do first? I mean, other than get your credit report, like you said. Uh, well, how would they find that? And then what kind of mindset should they have going forward?
Well, they have to know that they're the source of the credit,
Okay.
both sides of the credit, the pluses and the minuses. So the bill plus the payment, that's all your credit. So that helps, having that understanding.
Okay, so let me explain that to you folks. We think that when we go to the bank and get a loan for either a car or a credit card or anything like that, we think that the bank is loaning us their money. They're not. They're taking your money and loaning it to you, and then wanting you to pay them back. Okay, that's the gist of it. And there's some more nefarious things going on behind that as well. But let's start with that. Wrap your head around that. So you are the creditor, is what Holly is saying. In other words, if you weren't there, they wouldn't be able to loan you that money, which is kind of weird, but that's the truth of it all. So since they're using you that, Holly, is it safe to say they would consider you an employee, and that's why the W-4 process would apply?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so
that's exactly right. I would even take it a step. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, they're considering you an employee, and possibly even worse, and pretending to be you.
Oh, really? So it's a case of stolen identity as well in the most nefarious cases. Allegedly.
You broke up.
Oh, sorry. So they're in the most nefarious cases. They're even basically doing stolen identity.
Yes.
Okay. Allegedly. We can't be accusing people. So allegedly. This is quite fascinating, where first, folks, wrap your mind around that. Whereas they're doing things with your money that they didn't tell you about. And all we're doing is reporting it to the IRS, which is also doing things that with your money that you don't necessarily want. But being a reporting agent for them, they're going to go ahead and balance the books, if you would. And then you'll be the recipient of any of that balancing that goes on, because they are indeed using your social security number, your account, to do these things. Is that correct?
Yep.
Okay. So that's fascinating. I hope you guys can really grasp that idea. And what we're going to do is start on the next show, and we're going to do the very first things to do, like what forms to get, and pick maybe one of the examples that we can use, and then go forward with that. So Holly, we're really excited to learn these things. We're super excited that you'll be able to be on the show. And I just wanted to make sure and confirm to everybody that we're not re-registering back into the system. We are simply becoming a reporting agent to the IRS. And you'll see, as some of the paperwork is filled out, how that will actually play out and how that would actually benefit you. Do you have anything further to say on our introduction, Holly?
As far as the beginning step, there was a two-part question in your last question, and I didn't get to answer the first part.
Okay.
As far as the beginning step, unless you have an immediate need like housing or children, or some sort of emergency, I would jump straight into the credit reports. So you guys get your credit reports ready and come back next time.
Awesome. Okay, so that's your homework for today, folks. Go figure out how to get your credit report. There's a whole bunch of people. Just search it. I hate to use that G word, but search it on something else. Find out how to get your credit report, and we'll see you on the next show. So thank you for coming on, Holly, and you have a blessed day.